Most people try to recreate their childhood, whether we know it or not. We try to recreate. We leave the nest only to recreate childhood. So if we grew up in some toxic shit, guess what the fuck we're gonna look for when we go out in the world? Oh man, that person treats me right. I don't like that shit. There goes chaos right there. That motherfucker looks like he got a problem. I'm going right towards that motherfucker. That is exactly what the fuck we tend to do. Like, if we're used to chaos, it's familiar to us. It's not what's best for us. It's familiar to us. And I gotta go over there and see what the fuck chaos is talking about. Mental, physical, which one is more important to you, and what attractions do you seek in order to date someone? In the beginning, both. Both are very vital. You know what I'm saying? Physical is the first thing that you see. Unless you're doing online dating with nobody having a profile picture. You know what I'm saying? There has to be some form of illusion that is given before you actually, interact with that individual. Now, the issue that I come across, and I'm sure many others, is that I'll run away. I would run away with this idea of who this person was based off of their looks. You know what I mean? Instead of taking time to really engage with them. And I think that I know a lot of my issues for myself, self-diagnosed, that is. I'm no doctor or nothing like that. But just looking back at my behaviors and stuff like that, it has a lot to do with me watching porn. Now with porn, you're almost like in control. I mean, you don't control exactly what they're gonna do in the porn, but in the sense of like what the attention is, you know what I'm saying? So if I found a woman to be attractive in a sense, a lot of times, especially in like when I was really, really deep in it, and you know what I'm saying, like deep into my addiction, I would engage in these pornographic scenarios in my mind. And in the mental part, when you have a crush on someone, you ignore red flags. And I think that even works from that case too. Like when you find someone to be attractive, you ignore whatever it is, you know what I'm saying? Like if, like your favorite celebrity has like something that they're not too, like an insecurity or whatever, you tend to overlook it because of the attraction that you have for them. Or validation that you seek, whichever one it is. But which one is more important? I'm going to say that between the two, if there must be a choice made, it must be mental. Both are very much important to me, but mental is everything. Because you can be with the prettiest woman, the most beautiful man, and it can be torture. You literally can feel like you are alone in a relationship. You can feel like you're in a toxic cage. I lived it, you know what I'm saying, multiple times. Just going off of beauty alone and versus the whole package of an individual. Whether we had chemistry, you know what I'm saying? As a couple, do we have the same values? And really, a lot of times, that's the biggest issue is not having the same values at the time in life. Very well, you may value something later on that person may have wanted right then and there, or vice versa. You may value something right then and there, and that person may not value it until later on in their life. We're all at different stages of life, and sometimes they don't always equate to what our illusions and our expectations of the other person is. So it's like learning to, if we're going to engage in a relationship, to accept that person right where they are. And if we're not able to accept that person, then we need to move on. And speak and be with and learn to continue to date and find out and vet who actually values what you value. And as for the second question, what do you look for in someone that you're dating? Initially, now that I've been so hell-bent into spirituality and mental health, and I'm still learning. I catch things that I do that I find to be toxic that I attempt to work on a daily basis, like self-evaluation at the ultimate high, and even that can be toxic in itself. Doing so, but what I look for when dating, beauty, number one, because that's what I see. Two, your mindset. Your mindset, where you are in your life at the moment, and does that coexist with where I am? You know what I mean? If you are at a point and place where you're looking for your parent, like I was looking for my parent and the people that I was dating, and that can become draining. It's a draining behavior that can happen. But if you are an adult, the three stages, you're either operating in the adult, you're operating in the parent, or you're operating in the child. So looking to be more inclined with individuals that are operating of an adult. If you are operating in the child, you're doing that when you're by yourself, where you can work on those things, and even in that, you have to operate as the parent, because you have to reparent yourself, which is what a lot of us have to do, because we lacked a lot of things in our childhood upbringing, that we probably should have had, that would help us to be a more stable person in society. But shit happens, parents did the best they could, we did the best we could, and here we are. But it's not fair to project that on to another person, especially someone that you actually care for, because you wouldn't want somebody to do that to you. Now, you might have been taught that in your childhood to take on everybody else's shit, but it's not right now. It is not your responsibility. If you need someone to tell you that, I will gladly say that, because I have to say it for myself, which I am saying it for myself when I do talk about it. It is not your responsibility to take on another person's insecurities. You're not responsible for how they feel about themselves. It's literally how you feel about yourself. It doesn't matter. I can literally think the world of you, but if you feel like you ain't shit, guess what? You're telling your mind you ain't shit. But because we become what we think about. So you're going to have to shift your mindset. So I would have to look at her, evaluate where she is, her goals, as far as what I'm getting into, how is her relationship with her parents? Number one, that's a very, very key sign of work that's going to have to be done. And is she willing to go to therapy to get that work done? That's on her. Not everybody has that insurance and stuff, you know what I'm saying? But before you think about dating on a serious level, definitely need to get in therapy. That if anything I can learn from the dating I've done and the mistakes that I've made, you definitely want to make sure that you're in a position to where you're working towards being better with a professional. Not, again, even for me as an amateur, I believe to be. I feel, because I don't have, certificates and shit just yet. It's in the works, because this whole understanding of mental health and spirituality stuff is still kind of new to me, and I'm still learning what has been bestowed upon my life by the universe, what I feel, God. You know what I'm saying? So still learning, trying to figure these things out. But as for dating, yeah, beauty, mindset, goals, what you wanna be, what type of nurturer are you? Your feminine energy. And then how do you use your masculine energy? If you're using your masculine energy to challenge my own, you're gone. It's not even instantly. I lose attraction instantly when I see a woman operating in her masculine energy to challenge my own masculine energy, because that means that you want to be your own man, but for whatever reason, you want to have a man in your life as an accessory. That is my interpretation. That might not be the case, but that is what me as a man that's how I take that on, and I'm not going to be inclined to proceed to try to. I'm not going to outman you. I'm not going to do it. It's not going to happen. So, like I said, when dating, that's something that look towards feminine energy, beauty, mindset. How do you deal with no? Is very important too. How do you deal with when someone tells you no? How do you respond? Do you respond like an adult or do you respond like a child? You know what I'm saying? And the same thing goes for ladies. I recommend that. When you tell a man no, how does he respond? Does he respond like a mature adult or does he respond like a child throwing a tantrum? It's very important that you see these things. You know what I'm saying? Some of us got work to do. We do. We really do have work to do. It's not pointing fingers. It's just we have to work on these things in order to get better. No one is better than the other person. They might be, I'll say, further in a stage, but they're not better. You know what I'm saying? Because they were once where we were, or I was once where they were, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Shit. But I if it comes to dating, it's like that. And then as far as like, how do you fight? Do you fight in a healthy way or do you fight like a child? A child will do whatever he can to win versus trying to find progress which adults do. And again, we're all guilty of operating in our child mind because of the things that we felt we did not get. We were trying to fight to get everything that we did not get in childhood now. And truthfully, we don't have to. That's our insecurity eating at us. When we're an adult, we can be secure with who we are, but trying to change your mindset is a bitch on that. So beauty, mindset, feminine energy, relationship with parents, how seriously do you take your own mental health? Do you even believe in it? Some people don't even take it seriously. You know, our parents and their generations before, like, I don't know what the fuck you talking about, no damn mental health. If I ain't going no damn therapist, I go when I'm ready to go. You know, I'm sure it's not just my family, it's other, your own families where you've heard that shit. But feminine energy, beauty, mindset, the ability to be a nurturer, listening, and just overall chemistry. Like, literally, a person can have all the things that I've just mentioned, and it just doesn't, we just don't have that chemistry, and that happens, and there's different things for different people in this world. Everybody was not meant to be with everyone, and you learn all that. Be willing to enter masculine frame. That's very big. It's very big. Because it's not going to operate any other way. A woman must be willing to enter masculine frame, but I also must create this masculine frame that she can honor, respect, or whatever. Just as she creates a feminine frame that I willing to allow into my life. You know what I'm saying? And it goes hand in hand. We complement each other's life. Not better than you because I'm masculine and you're feminine. We work together. It is yin and yang. You know what I'm saying? Understand that. It's not about, he thinks he's better than me, he's bigger than me, or whatever, and tell me what to do. No, we complement each other's life. Yin and yang. Understand that. Read that back slowly, okay? We complement each other's life. Yin to the motherfucking yang. All right? So what's more important? Mental is more important because that's gonna lead to longevity. Physical will fade, but physical is definitely important in the beginning too. But if I had to choose between the two, it's mental. And when it comes to dating, what do you look for? You look for beauty, feminine energy, mindset, chemistry, relationship with parents, ability to go to therapy, a whole list of other shit I just named. And that answers the question. What's something that people think makes them look cool, but actually makes them look ridiculous. Taking on the latest fashion. In a lot of sense. Looking back at the 90s, right? Cross colors. I'll say in my high school years, we used to wear 4X, 3X shirts on 130-pound, 40-pound bodies. You know what I'm saying? Like, just take a look at the late 90s and the early 2000s attire. You know what I'm saying? Look at music videos, look at old TRLs, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, we really thought we was hot shit in these big ass clothes. And looking back at it, it just looks out of place because I wear so much fitted shit now. And I'm a hell of a lot bigger than I was in high school, you know what I'm saying? But like seeing yourself, seeing yourself as a kid, thinking that, this trend, this is what's going on right now, or saying things that you thought was cool, you know what I'm saying? Trying to be such a thug or whatever, trying to take on the latest fashion trend, saying the latest cool term or whatever, bussin', and whatever the kids say today. At some point in time, to look back and be like, I don't even believe we talk like that. I mean, I think every era has that, and I know with us wearing, what else we used to wear? Like fucking hammer pants, overalls, wearing your overalls backwards, crisscross, crisscross right there. Crisscross had a sea of people at their concerts and people all across the nation wearing their shit backwards. You know what I'm saying? And we just really thought we was so fucking cool for it, until you outside playing and you got these damn pants on backwards and you gotta come inside and use the bathroom, like, and really gotta go. It was a mission. It was a pure mission trying to do that. Like wearing white tees, large ass white tees. If you're from Suffolk watching this, 2002, 2003, we used to wear actual pajama pants to school, with white tees. Like, I think I had Frosted Flakes, pajama pants. I miss them shits too. My grandma made shorts out of them. That's what people do when they find your shit. They steal shit and then make something of their own. You know what I'm saying? But like wearing pajama pants to school as a trend. I mean, we look fly for the time. You know what I'm saying? But back then, trying to sag tight jeans, really, because I was trying so hard to sag. Like looking back at that shit. Even when I see it now today, seeing anyone sagging their pants, showing their ass, man, it's like, as far as like for me, it looks ridiculous for me to do that right now. You know what I'm saying? Trying to like to sag like that on purpose. Don't get me wrong, there's days when I go to work and I forget my damn belt, or I'll miscalculate a size for these cargo pants that I'll have, and then I end up fucking having to pull them up on the days that I don't have, or the string or whatever. It's just too damn big or whatever. But like looking at that and be like, damn, man, I really I really thought I was hot shit. And we think we're cool at that time, and it's cool for the people that's within that group. You know that it's just popular at the time. Everybody goes through that phase where you feel like you're more important than others. You feel like you're very secluded in this little group. Teenagers for that matter. Teenagers wear, certain trends. And there was a time where my daughter really loved Camp Rock or whatever. And then what's the damn dolls? The Bratz dolls and whatever, you know what I'm saying? We all had this thing. Ninja Turtle shit, dressing up like a Ninja Turtle for fucking Halloween. Trying to be, Michael Jackson or whatever, dressing like him. Wearing high waters and and loafers with white socks just to look like Michael Jackson in the house. And it was, like I said, it's cool for its time, but trying to look like that now is it's kind of just looks out of place. You know what I mean? But it's just timing. And we all go through that. We all have moments in our lives where we're in this set of cool. You know, we look at life like, man, we so fucking cool. Even now, doing the show, all the fashion I wear, feeling like I'm fucking cool. I might not even like what the fuck I'm wearing 10 years from now, looking back. But in that moment, it's my moment. And that's what's important. The beauty of all of that is living in the present moment with other people who value what you value. And that's what makes it so important. So we look back at like high school, we look back at middle school. For those that used to wear the chains on the pants and the Vans and the trench coats, you know what I'm saying? Like, or those of us that wore jerseys, throwbacks, you know, velour sets, like wore nothing but jerseys all fucking day. And you'd be hard pressed to find people wearing that shit now. At least like back then, you know, like the jerseys. You don't really see it much in music videos anymore, but it was a trend. You know, we thought we looked cool, and looking back, man, like if you look at your freestyle pics, if you went to Nansman or whatever, look at our fashions. You know what I'm saying? Like we really thought we was hot shit, and we were. Truth be told, we were. We really were. Like in our moment, you know what I'm saying? We thrived. We thought we did our best to put our best foot forward, and things changed. The race car jacket phase, you know what I'm saying? Like all these things, we thought we were cool, and looking back, like wow, you know, someone wear them today, you know, it's outdated. Wearing Reebok Classics, you know what I'm saying? Shoes get played out. Like damn, you still got a pair of those. Wearing a Walkman, you know what I mean? CD players, I still listen to CDs in the car, fuck y'all. But there's so many things that we think we're so fucking cool. And looking back, it just looks ridiculous. It's not even getting to the 80s and the 70s. You talk to your parents and your uncles and them platform shoes and, you know what I'm saying? Applejack hats. Just leg warmers, the Jerry curl. I'm just saying. We're gonna leave it there. We're gonna leave it at Jerry curl. You know what I'm saying? But all in all, it was that's something I find that, you know, people look cool, and then looking back, that people think they look cool, and it's actually ridiculous. What can you say? Living in the present moment. It was of the time. We lived it, and there's gonna be more to make. Since your last relationship, what has being single taught you? Being single has taught me that I can self-soothe. Number one, no matter what goes on, it's nice to have. Don't get me wrong, it's a blessing. I'm grateful for individuals that are around when something may transpire that's willing to just listen. Don't want them to fix anything. Just listen. You know what I mean? And that is, you know, for me, that's enough. You know, that's enough. I mean, it's even want to do that. It's not required. Especially with going to therapy, and seeing yourself, seeing your issues, it's the way that you're looking at life. You know what I'm saying? When you're hell bent on this particular view, there's no way you can see all the other views, you know what I'm saying, that happen. And when things happen, you respond like you did as a kid when trauma hits you. And it's unfortunate, you know, that we do that, but we do that. And sometimes you have to sit back and calm yourself down, take a breather, and realize that it's gonna be all right. It's gonna be okay. You have to do what was supposed to have been done for you when you were a kid. Now, for those of us who went through shit when we were a kid and we had to go through it alone, we tend to respond a little bit more aggressively when bad shit happens to us because we're used to not being consoled and soothed for all that shit. Or some of us just suffer in silence, you know what I'm saying? And but when we get into relationships, we project that onto our partners, and it's not fair. You know, it's not fair to do so. And so what I've learned from being single is like the ability that it's just me versus me yesterday. To do my best at everything I do, and to not make assumptions, and to not take anything personal as much as I can. You got to do your best, because it's not to say that you're not going to fail at that, but you keep trying. You keep getting up. You know what I'm saying? Let's say you set a goal. I'm not going to watch porn. You go 2 months and bam, you slip up. Get the fuck up. We do it all over again. I'm not going to contact him. Fuck him. Fuck him. You called him. He fucked you. Damn. All right, you know what? Get up. Start all over again. You know what? I'm not letting that bitch back in my life. Fuck her. All of that shit. Here she go at the motherfucking house, laid up next to me. You know what? She's not good for me, but you know, I'm gonna start over. Like, being single teaches you these things that you can actually keep going. Like, don't hold on to a particular moment in life. Don't attach yourself to positive moments. Don't attach yourself to negative moments. Like, that's one thing that can be learned, that I've learned from being single is, and also help from Eckhart Tolle and a list of other authors and mentors that can shift your mindset to see things the way that I now do. And not allowing something you deem to be negative to overcome and overshadow your present moment, because it will drain you. I mean, think about a lot of us that are still holding on. I know you guys watch each and every episode. Like, for those that watch each and every episode, keep hearing me talk about the fucking past. That is me still attached to something that needs to be let go. You know what I'm saying? And working at that in my own way. And so when we get into being single and understanding the joys of being single too, because you can see how great you can recover, and you're not incapable of doing so. You can recover. You are capable of redeeming yourself, and you have to let go of the ego. Truthfully, if you want to heal, study your ego. Your ego. Not the, I think I'm big and bad, never, but the ego that's like, everything that happens is about me. And when you discover what you're not your ego, you're not your thoughts, you're not all these things that transpire through your head. It's literally an illusion. Everything is simply an illusion. The way you look at life is not the way. We can have the same thing happen to us, and there'd be two different responses of how we see life. It doesn't change what happened. It just changed how we view these things. And that's growth. That's what being single can teach you. When you spend time with yourself, learning how to date yourself again. And well, not even again, but maybe for the first time, I learned how to date myself. And I done cheated on myself, trying to almost veering back into people pleasing and stuff, trying to be everything to everyone. And being everywhere is being nowhere. So you have to put yourself first. You have to. Man, woman, everything. You have to put yourself first. And for those mothers with kids, same thing. You still have to put yourself first, especially if you have daughters, because your daughters are going to grow up and do everything that they saw you do. You know what I'm saying? So if you're showing them that you put yourself first, what do you think they're going to do? The worst thing you want to do is see your child go through the very same shit that you went through. You know what I'm saying? That we all tend to, we've inadvertently done that. Subconsciously have allowed these things to transpire without our knowing, because we're going off of certain patterns that we were taught. And that's okay. You know, it's nothing to, beat yourself up about. It's about learning to change the pattern. You can change the cycle when you see it. Mind you, it's when you see it, and don't beat yourself up for not seeing it for so long or so short, whichever one it is, but it's important. And the same thing for sons too, because they're going to grow up and want to see a woman operate the way that you do. Just drops everything and puts them first. You know what I'm saying? So we're setting them up for what they're to prepare, because most people try to recreate their childhood, whether we know it or not. We try to recreate. We leave the nest only to recreate childhood. So we grew up in some toxic shit. Guess what the fuck we gonna look for when we go out in the world? Oh man, that person treats me right. I don't like that shit. There goes chaos right there. That motherfucker looks like he got a problem. I'm going right towards that motherfucker. That is exactly what the fuck we tend to do. Like, if we're used to chaos, it's familiar to us. It's not what's best for us. It's familiar to us. And I gotta go over there and see what the fuck chaos is talking about. Fuck all this, treat me right shit. And that's where we have to change our brain patterns. And eventually we will. We'll get better with that, just with recognition. You know what I'm saying? But being single has taught me how valuable I am. It's taught me I am valued. I matter. It taught me how masculine I could be, learn to be, and still learning to be. You know what I'm saying? It taught me that I can make mistakes and still move the fuck on. It taught me that I can do great things and still move the fuck on, not be attached to them. It taught me that I'm going to continue to make fucking mistakes. And it also teaches me that there are people in the world that actually practice kindness more so than their toxic shit. And that's that's another thing that's super dope. Because no one's perfect. We're all gonna go through our shit. We're at different stages. We have different values, and we gotta figure out who has the chemistry and who has the values. And that is, I think that's just life in general, like learning how to do that. Men have to, work on themselves, women too. But, for men, it's very, very important that you work on yourself, man. You got to build yourself up, man. Mentally, definitely financially, all these things, I think it's important for women too. But just for men as like the provider in us, like that thing that we naturally seek for, being a provider. One thing is being a provider. Another thing is knowing how to be masculine. That is very important for us to do. Women, learning how to make your own money. Yes, great. That's good. Understand feminine energy. While you're single, work on that. Work on practicing more of your operating in your feminine energy. I'm telling you right now, no man of value, no man worth the one that you dream about, think about, want to be with rest of your life, that type of shit. He does not want to be with another man unless that's what he's into. Well, for the heterosexual ones, what I'm speaking on is that we gotta operate in our women have to operate in their feminine energy, and our men need to operate in their masculine. And you know what I'm saying? And be able to manage both, because again, we both have masculine and feminine energy. So we operate in our feminine energy when we're there to listen. You know what I'm saying? Just listening, or to hold, you know what I'm saying? Cuddle, whatever whatever term you deem appropriate for you. And then women with their masculine energy, parenting, you know what I'm saying? Those times when dad is not there, or you're at work and you're in a position, you have to use that masculine energy. Just know how to turn that off, because if you don't turn that off, you're going to turn me off. You know what I'm saying? And others alike. But men, work on your shit. Women, work on your shit. Being single, it's taught me a lot. Taught me a lot about myself. Taught me how my strengths. It taught me my weaknesses and how to work on that. It taught me gratitude. It taught me love. It taught me unconditional love for self. And still learning that shit. It taught me the things that I stopped doing because I tried to please another person. It taught me how much I didn't love myself. Being single comes with so many joys. But overall, being single just taught me how to value myself.